and virtual background, but somehow it just can
Doesn't come up. Oh, that's okay. Anyway, your background's really nice at the back, so it's okay.
สวัสดีค่ะ Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rosita. I'm going to be the moderator for the session today. Welcome everyone to our Women in Food Industry. Now we are going to talk with about 4 women from the food industry that they are playing the roles in the food industry and drive the organization that they are working for. So why women is important? You can see that during the pandemic period, the women become like the caregiver, the healthcare, and even the backbone for helping the world to recover from COVID, helping the patients and really under the stress condition while working during this pandemic. However, one of the goal of the Sustainable Development Goal by United Nations number 5, goal number 5, we need to work on gender equality because you can see that many numbers, many countries, and many percentage of the women role in the organization is pretty in the low level. And also I have heard myself from many of the discussion that if we can increase diverse thinking, diverse decision maker in the organization, in the meeting, we could have even a better decision that made by the combination of the equality of men and women on the table. So today I would like to have this session as part of our food ingredients globally that we start doing since 2017 in having the women talk during the breakfast of Food Ingredient Europe, and part of Food Ingredients Asia we start bringing up since 2019. Today it's my great opportunity to have the 4 speakers, women, with me today. May I first introduce the first speaker from the university. She is working on the research. We will know about her more. So the first one, Associate Professor Dr. Krongkan Chutip. She is a Deputy Research Dean from Naresuan University. Please open camera. Second one, we have our, I would say she is our long-term support to our Food Ingredients Asia. Many years ago. She is Dr. Tina Tan. She is the Senior General Manager of Matrix Flavor and Fragrance. The third one with me today, Ms. Shirley Liu. She is the Managing Director of ProVec International, which is the non-profit organization. She is another management woman that joining with us today. And the last one, our Thai woman that it is she is in the food industry organization, Ms. Chalampon Bawan Sombat. She is the Department Manager of Food and Fine Ingredients Department, Sulik Industrial. So with me, we can have the discussion start together with our speaker here. So firstly, I would like to ask our panelists here to introduce yourself. Who are you? What are you doing? Where are you from? and the experience that you're working in the food industry. So may I ask to start with Dr. Tina, please.
Thank you, Rose. Good morning. Morning, everybody. My name is Tina. I'm the Senior General Manager for Matrix Flavors and Fragrances. I've been in this role for 5 out of the 12 years that I've been working with the company. Matrix is a family-owned business of 43 years. As the title suggests, we manufacture and create flavors for the food, pharma, oils and fats industries, and for the fragrances, home and personal care. We are headquartered just outside Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. We have 2 manufacturing facilities, one in Malaysia and one in India. We have offices around in Myanmar, India, Belgium, and Indonesia. Thank you.
All right, Kuntina come with very short, so I will interview her later on to know about her family and how she ran into this business. So next one, I go to Shirley, please.
Hi, good morning. My name is Shirley. I work for Provec International. As Rose explained, it's a nonprofit organization on food awareness. Our mission is to replace animal consumption with plant-based eating and plant-based and cellular-based food innovation. Provec is headquartered in Berlin and Washington, D.C. We have about 10 teams in different markets worldwide, collaborating with government, food corporations, healthcare workers, and also medias for the mission of plant-based eating.
All right, today we're gonna hear from Shirley more about the plant-based development by her organization as well. So come to next, our professor from University, Naresuan University, Dr. Krongkan.
Thank you, Rose, for having me here today. My background actually is a pharmacist. That's my first degree as pharmacy. And then I continue my master in pharmacology. And I got my PhD from UK in physiology and pharmacology. So I am actually based at the Naresuan University, which is in Phitsanulok province in the lower northern part of Thailand. And my role is to teach the university students and also to do research. And my research focuses on the mainly preclinical study of the plant extract, like functional food, and it also includes the active ingredients. We look for the efficacy and safety, mainly for the non-communicable diseases. Thank you.
Thank you, Ka. So we come to Kun Charampon, Ka.
Morning, my name is Shalampon. I'm work with Cytec Asia Solution, or Zurich Industrial is a member of Zurich Group of Company. So my role is a department manager, food and fine ingredient department. So we is a distributor and importer of flavor and food ingredient. So our role to food industry is we provide solution, taste, texture, and function to food industry. Right now, it's a key project is sugar reduction and plant-based food. For my background, bachelor degree of science, biotechnology with MBA. So I'm in this role for 16 years. In total, 30 years in food industry business. Yeah.
Thank you. So myself, I'm Rosita. I'm start my career in exhibition business, and I work a bit on feed and food companies. So my experience is about 25 years, and I'm the group director in pharma markets for ASEAN business. So I'm very happy to have all of you here today. So myself is single mom, so I have 1 kid. Now I'm going to ask our panelists to share a bit on how they are being in the role. I would like to start by Dr. Tina, because I have heard that Dr. Tina is kind of the daughter of the owner of Matrix. Can you tell me more about your role and how you work in Matrix organization?
Yes, so I'm a second generation business owner. So in terms of Matrix, we're a professional organization. It's actually Matrix is a group of companies, and I work for the flavor and fragrance division of this.
So the business is
So,
you are the second generation. So meaning
yes.
how many brothers, sister you have?
So I have two older brothers. None of them are in business. So I'm the only second generation in the business. Yeah. So I think I am pretty fortunate that I have a very open-minded and very progressive, come from a very progressive family that really encourages, for each individual to be the best version of themselves. So I was never limited in any opportunities, and I was given very, very many opportunities to grow in life. In terms of education, in terms of job and everything.
So we will come back to hear more from Dr. Tina on how she was in this role and why not brothers. So we come to the next question later on. So now I would like to ask Kun Charampon, can you tell me more about how you start working in the Silic?
Okay. Yeah. So from my experience from first is from the bachelor degrees biotechnology. I'm start working with tuna canning as R&D, and then I work for almost 2 years, and then moving from production to commercial. So I'm start with it's good company, it's school of sales, it's agentic company, so it's a good starting in food industry. And then after have experience from EAC for almost 6 years, so I'm working with a Jepsen and Burger. And then for Zurich, at that time we start with the only single supplier, but it's my role is to sourcing or working to get more product, more supplier. So from the flavor, we explore more on the food ingredient. So we have more partner, and right now it's after 16 years. So right now it's 24 staff in the department. So it's it's a long journey, but we have passion to work in the food industry and provide solution to customer. Yeah, good support from customer, that sometimes customer looking for new ingredient, or even suggest us to contact the supplier because they willing that to get the support. So it's working with customer long term is very, very nice.
All right. So now we have Dr. Tina. She is the owner of the business plus the professional employee for her own business. And now we have Kun Charampon, which is a professional employee changing the organization and working in the food industry. Now we come to hear from Shirley, because I'm really keen to know about non-profit organization that you are on, and how things make you to decide to work on non-profit. Because after I read on your bio, you work in the commercial sector before. Shirley, please.
Yes, thank you, Rose. Correct. Yes, before non-profit, I was in for-profit in food industry for over 20 years. I was in both food retail and also involved in food service. I was mainly doing innovation and route to market strategy development, brand communication, customer acquisition, as well as investment plans for new platforms or new categories development. I'm from Taiwan. I'm currently based in Shanghai. And besides Beijing, Shanghai, and Hong Kong, I've also been based in Singapore for some time. How did I get into nonprofit? Because my experience in for-profit, in innovation, and also throughout the supply chains in B2C and also B2B, I think that's the bridge linked me to Provag International. Provag International is very much focusing on food innovation. We have an incubator in Berlin, which is open to startups from the world. So if there's a plant-based startups in Southeast Asia, in East Asia, in North Asia, you are welcome to apply. I think the skills and experience and the networks in for-profit helped me a great deal as I move into the nonprofit role. ProVax has a leadership team of about 10 plus people. We have a pretty good gender balance. So when I was in for-profit as a functional leader, marketing leader in Asia Pac, I remember at that time, most of my peers, all of them, in fact, all of the business leaders are all men. At ProVac, I represent Asia. My peer in Poland, in the executive director of Netherlands, and Spain are all female. We also have a few functional leaders are females. We can discuss more later. Thank you.
So before I go into Professor Krongkan, I want to come back to Tina a bit to tell more about your organization. How many number of male, female, how many staff that you are leading now?
Yep, sure. I mean, really, I mean, it's not a very deliberate attempt to say, like, you know, we hire women in specific, you know. I think really right from the onset, Dr. Tan, the founder of the company, has always believed in a meritocracy. So it's about the right person for the right job. And the emphasis on the word is really person, whether that is male or female. And that's been going on since the company, you know, for 40 over years. Just some numbers for our company at the moment. Out of the entire group, 48% are women. 47% of women hold the title of manager and above. 75% of our executive staff are women, and 40% are non-executives. So that is the current balance. So it's pretty balanced between male and female in our organization.
Wow, very impressive. But I myself believe that after talking to many women leaders in food industry, we see and more women in food industry right now when compared to other industry like pharma, like retail. Okay, so we can discuss in detail more. So now we come to Dr. Krongkan. Her role is really researcher sitting in far away from Bangkok, I would say, leading the university research on the functional food. Dr. Krongkan, can you explain more about your role and your experience with the students and how you do it in the food industry now?
Thank you, Rose. As I mentioned, my role is to teach the university student. I am actually working in the health science faculty. So my teaching concerns like medical students, pharmacy students, and my role in research focus mainly on the medical research. And I am interested in the functional food ingredient because we have been working a lot with the herbal medicine. That's the beginning of my research. And recently we have some collaboration with outside university, and they focus a lot on the food function and the role of the food in health and in diseases. So I move a lot to the functional food in the past few years and focus more on the elderly or degenerative diseases. And actually we have quite some students that they are interested in this field as well, because they think that they can help people in terms of research to discover something new that no one has never found it before. Like myself, my passion is to discover something that nobody found it before. Even it's a very, very small thing, but I hope that it can contribute into the world, even a small knowledge of what exactly is this food ingredient acting on the small molecules, on the cells, or on the whole animal, and what's going to happen, how can it protect us from the disease. So that kind of thing that gives me a passion and pass on to my research students in my lab.
Yeah. To extend more, I know that you work with a lot of students, which is in the university environment, Dr. Krongkan, can you share with me more how you see the mixture of the men and women in the university environment?
Actually, I have to say that at Naresuan University, we have more women than men. I think more than 60% that more women than men, like in my lab. For example, in my lab, about 90% are women. In my department also, around 90% are women. And we actually give the opportunity equally to all ages. But in the health science, as you can see, we work with the animal studies. This kind of work may not attract boys. So the girls somehow more like persistent and can repeat things. In terms of science, you have to repeat things several times. So to me, in the past like 20 years, I have more female students than male to be in my lab actually. But we work well, I mean, with all gender, and for the like not male and female, for the transgender or other gender also, I mean, in my lab as well. And they are all actually pretty good in science.
Yeah, this is the key part here that you can see that from the researcher level, women is very, I would say, like detailed and very high tolerance level to do repeating things. And also now we are going to connect the dot from Dr. Krongkan and Dr. Tina later on, that how we see that a lot of ladies already in the industry through the researcher. Then Dr. Tina also have lead the team. How can we connect and help in develop entrepreneurship for those researchers into the food industry? That will be our next discussion. But before going to that level, I'm going to ask each of you, I would say like how you experience in being the leader of your role today. Talking about the past, how difficult if you see the discrimination happen, did you see the stereotype happen that woman leader is kind of weaker, can't make decision, too much, something like that. So I would like to start with Shirley. Do you have any experience in being the leader in your organization today?
Okay, right. Well, first I would like to echo Professor's point. More women in the food studies. First half of this year, we did an innovation challenge in South Asia, involved 54 universities. The participants, 2/3 are women. Okay, so there are more female students in food studies, in culinary studies. That's a good sign. How do we now help them to move up to the leadership role? Yeah, I hope we can discuss more later. In our current organization and also in my past experience, I mentioned that when I was in for-profit, I was the regional lead in marketing and innovation. I work with the business heads in different sub-business units in Asia. At that time, all my peers are men. We had very few functional leaders who are female. The challenges could be I think maybe as a new functional leaders now how to being taken seriously, especially if it's a female functional leader. When I was new, and secondly is how to also not to miss the men's small talk. So yeah, not to miss the updates, the ideas. Yeah, I think this challenges happen to women and also in some cases to men as well. Yeah, we need to work strategically, not only diligently, right? To think about the impact of our work, right? And also to I would say to also build like personal relationship, yeah, with your peers, women and men. If you for professional behaviors, I think these kind of steps, actions will not be misinterpreted. Yeah. Having the informal relationship to help. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Shirley, I pretty much interested in your environment. You have been like you are from China and you work in Taiwan also.
I'm from Taiwan. I work in China for over 10 years.
You are, yeah. So sorry for that. So many times we heard that the Chinese culture always the man in front, the man is the leader. Did you experience those kind of environment that to challenge you to be in the leader position is more difficult by the culture itself?
Okay, good question. In mainland China, actually, I think the awareness or the women's leadership positions are, I think, are in a quite good position compared to many other markets in Asia. Right. So I think overall now in any markets, now either East Asia or South Asia, I think as female management or female leaders, be confident, believe in yourself. Yeah. I agree with Tina that at the end we compete on our capabilities, our performance. However, I also think that because the gap is there, so I would also encourage that the organization's leaders consider conscious inclusion, right? There are countries, there are companies, organizations, they set a quota, like deliberately promote female leadership.
Yeah, I will say that the world is now also changing. I believe that earlier was stereotype that the man has to be leader, and then now woman has proved that we can do better, can do even equal, can improve and can manage wisely. So what Shirley mentioned now is very interesting that we have to really believe in ourselves that can do as a woman. So this is also for the audience that don't worry that you are man or woman, but if you can deliver, you believe in yourself, you confident in yourself. We all here, I think everyone here believe that we can get to the higher level, we can get to be leadership position. So now I come to the owner and professional employee like Tina. So Tina, you have brothers, and this is very interesting to know how you become the selected management for your father organization. And do you have any experience to share with us how to, I don't want to use the win, the father may choose you, but how it is when you grown up and finally father choose you to be the managing the general manager for this business?
I think that's really by default. In our family, there is no force of saying, look, even if it's a family company, that that you need to work in the family business. That was never imposed on us. I think certainly the ideology when I was growing up was, and especially when the company was a lot smaller, the ideology that would pass from father to son was there. But as time went on, I think my father just realized it was really very much of whoever had interest in the business would be the best person to come in and to work with the business. You keep saying that I lead the company, but I also like to point out actually one of probably the biggest success stories for Matrix is as a group, our deputy managing director, I think some of you might know her, Gita. She's been with the company for over 3 decades. And she started very much with my father from a very early stage. And now she's the title that she's hold is Deputy General Managing Director. And I think that's probably one of the biggest successes of Matrix, where we encourage just not a job, but a career, lifelong career, and opportunities growing along. And I think she's really very much upgraded herself throughout her career with Matrix, and to lead us all currently.
I know.
So,
yeah.
Sorry, but I would also like to say, I think, very much, I think it is a perception now that, that generational businesses need to pass from father to son. But more and more that I see, there are very, very many strong women in their family businesses doing very, very well.
Yeah, and interestingly, on Kun Gita, I know her very well, very strong character, and she very high vision and very strategist. So Kun Tina, I would like to touch a bit. You mentioned about you also doing business in India, right? So
yes.
What I want to touch on, based on my experience, maybe my experience on livestock sector, aquaculture sector, women become very difficult in India. Like when I am Thai and going to stay in India for 2 years, people look at me like very discriminated, like a lady, and I take like 2 years in order to get people respect and get perception that I'm really professional, like that sense, because I have a chance to talk to my peers who is the male, like, why you guys really look down? They said it's classification in their country that female stay home, work at doing housewife, take care baby. So that's my set is that. How about when Matrix set up the organization in India? Have you had any experience or can share any story that happened, might be because of the culture, the socio-economic there?
I don't think so. I think we work with very progressive people in Matrix India, but I also think that the managing director also there, or the managing partner there, is also a very progressive and open person. I mean, personally, I don't feel very much in India. I mean, but I'm not the best person to comment because I'm not on ground and I didn't live there, so I think it would be a very, very different experience. But I think, I mean, just tying back to one of those things that is always said to women and in leadership, specifically when I first joined the business, I remember just being introduced, and it was always saying, you're here to help your father. Whereas, if it was my brother, it was always, you're here to take over. So that very subtle word differences there, that I think it's a very subconscious bias of most people. And I think that is cultural.
All right. Yeah. So now we come to Dr. Krongkan. So in your university, you must have dean, who is the man. Most of the university, the dean is the man. So you see how is the things that female should be improving in order to match that difference and make us equality in terms of managing the university administration.
Yeah, Rose, actually, in the past, the history, like in my faculty, we have both male and female as the dean. I mean, take turn actually. So that's not too bad in terms of balancing between male and female being the top ranking in terms of the administrative taking care of the faculty. And in the academic or in the university, there is a competition, of course, but I think we prove by our competency. We have a very specific KPI, like for research, you have a grant, you have publications. So if you are strong in terms of research, you have a good teamwork, I think there's no problem with female at all to compete with male. I have to say we are doing even better actually at the university right now, because we have lots of female in the research field, in particularly in terms of food, like basic science. So I don't feel any problem competing with male in the university, though, both academic research and also in terms of being the executive as the dean or even as the president. Yep.
Wow. So that's great. So we are going to have more and more women leading in the leading position, because we are now climbing to close the gap that the percentage of the leader from the International Labour Organization, we still like low, but it's improving in this last 5 years. So now come to Kun Sirampon. So you had variety of experience working with the European organization, US organization that set up the business in Thailand. I would say that most of them must be like the leading position of the man set up the business in Thailand, and then you was hired as the leader in the department position. So how you experience with this kind of the equality things, and how you see the development in last 2-3 years?
Yeah. So when I'm start working with each company is a Danish, we can say that the sales manager is all male at that time. So it's like all is men, especially it's like it's a chemical industry, like in the rubber, plastic or ink. All is team is all male, because it's at that time, I think it's the one is that they have to contact with the industrial. And for the other, for the food and textile, at that time when we start, it's like most are female for the food, cosmetic and textile, but all the management and sales manager are male. I think at that time is when I start working as a sales, so infrastructure is not good in Thailand. I have appointment with customer in the Muklet for the dairy. I have to leave Bangkok around 4 o'clock or not later than 5 o'clock to starting to make appointment in the morning, 9 o'clock until 2 in the afternoon, and then drive back to Bangkok. So at that time, it's like a cell phone is nothing. At that time, it's only pager, and the telephone, the public telephone is not anywhere. So it's like at that time, it's they prefer like a male, because it's like for the driving, and for the for women, maybe they may think that okay to list to drive and visit customer in up country. At that time when I start working, so it's my supervisor is he's quite worried that how I can drive, how if I face any problem. So it's like they quite worried, but it's not capable, but they worry. They worry for like the woman drive and visit customer is okay or not in that part. But right now it's more and more. It's like right now it's easy. So it's a expressway anywhere. So in one day we can drive, visit many customer, and then it's like we have cell phone, we have like internet, everything right now is improved. So I can say that in the specialty food ingredient, I think 70-80% is women. Yeah, but for the management or for the director, I think right now is still male.
Yeah, the percentage of the women in the leader position is quite low compared to the men. We are lucky. We have the leader position here, 4 persons. Women. So how we can help to develop, we can help to inspire people. So I'm coming to the touch point that Shirley has mentioned about. You work on the startup, and you have a lot of new startup coming up. So Shirley, how you see the proportion of the startup, and if I may address a bit more that in terms of the women's startup, if I want to touch a bit further, and we'll cover to Tina and Dr. Gronga later on the when they present doing the innovation of the startup that you experience with them, how you see the proportion and how you see that what else we should help them to come up into the entrepreneurship level in the food industry.
Thank you. Yeah, good question. Right. So just now we said 2/3 of the food studies students are women, but in terms of startup entrepreneurs and also leadership positions in food organizations, then there's much less females. I think either the professionals or female startup leaders maybe can pay attention to two things. I mean, in addition to do an excellent work, quality work, successful output is important. But as we just said, that working and women need to work extra harder, right, to stand out. But besides, I think working hard, have successful result. Network is very important. I think that's why today we are here, and also the audience dial in, right? So do find your mentor, sponsors, advocates, people you trust, people who would support you, help you succeed, okay? Internally and externally, to help you get a realistic view about what you need to move ahead internally and also in the market. Yeah. So spend time to develop, cultivate, grow your network. Yeah. Secondly is don't wait. I find that maybe because of our culture or maybe the stereotyping on women, we would wait for opportunities to come, to be noticed, to be offered with either fund or promotion. No, please don't wait. Right? You will notice that your male counterpart, they would ask for it, pursue, seek opportunities. So intentionally develop your network, find people who would speak for you, and also seek opportunities. Don't wait.
Really, Shirley, you know what you just addressed now is really the same point that mentioned in the UN things. The UN has writing that the aim to highlight female perspective, because number one, all stereotype that people think about women, bias and discrimination that happen, that women cannot make decisions sharply. And the other one is, I was surprised to see they said women not do networking as men. So this really to the point that you just mentioned now. So I would ask a bit more how your project doing in terms of helping the startup after they get the research done, similar to Dr. Gronggan, right? And how you connect to the industry.
Oh, right. So in the batch that we selected, once the startup get selected, they will be put in the programs. They would have their an assigned dedicated program managers that connect them with the research and technical support relevant to their initiative. The program managers will also help them, equip them to be ready to present to investors. And we will also now put together events to help them to do roadshows to potential investors. Our last batch of selected startups, very encouragingly, there were more female entrepreneurs than males. For the first time, the incubator has, I think it's in its fourth years. So far, total, there are more male entrepreneurs than female entrepreneurs. Probably, the universe, the base is so. But in our last batch, we had more female entrepreneurs in the last batch.
Wow, great. So this is linked to what you introduced recommend to the audience here, like on the mentor. So finding the mentor. So meaning has been mentor for the projects as well, putting the guideline for the like the incubator program to have the mentors to train the project that happened, right? That's what you.
Yeah, and also, yeah, one more thing is when you identify a mentors, I would also suggest that not only look for like female mentors. It's also good. You also need the male perspective.
Yes.
Well.
Yes. The diverse thinking is the better for the decision and thorough thinking. So now come to Tina. So I know that you really have a good team, and of course you are a very good leader. In terms of what Shirley mentioned, Dr. Krongkan mentioned, there is a lot of research work. So the connecting to the commercial, I would like to hear from your idea, your opinion, how those people should be developed into being the entrepreneurship like what you are doing. So any suggestion to the audience and the researchers?
I think Shirley has really very, very nicely and succinctly encapsulated everything, networking and being, having self-belief and these sort of things. I think from an industry perspective, and also the fact that, I did spend a very much early part of my career in academia. And I think we've had this discussion before where industry is really responsible for creating that link between academic and research towards the transition towards industry. As a student, one of the things that I saw that should be offered specifically to more science students is really either a sub-course or a course where it focuses on business or commerce to be able to help people transition from research into industry, and from there on, with that base of having business into entrepreneurship. So I think that connection, I mean, first of all, it's a university that makes that decision, but industry to support all these students through internships and opportunities within our organization.
I think with this COVID, I have to thankful at least COVID make us connect easier than what we thought before. So everything can be through internet. I came to know Dr. Krongkan. We came to know each other. Not only I wait for meeting Tina in Thailand or Indonesia once a year, we now can reach more. I think the benefit of technology is there, and would say that we are the part to help this world to reduce the discrimination and encourage women to work more. Actually, that's the thing, and it is the aim of the discussion to highlight the success of the women for the audience who listen and feel like, some people I talk with say like, I cannot grow because my career is only this, to be the leader, I have to be the man, like that. So that's thinking never come before, like what Shirley said, seek opportunity for it. So now come to Dr. Krongkan. So we have the commercial connect, we have incubator like Shirley. So from university point of view, you think how you want to encourage researcher to connect into the commercial world?
Yeah, Rose, I really am really happy to be here today. And here Shirley and Tina is very inspiring, huh? Like as a researcher, we have been in a very, very comfort zone. To jump out of the comfort zone, to be, dealing with the business or entrepreneurship, in the view of the most researcher, is kind of conflict of interest. We have to be neutral, like keep in the track academic, not make a profit. So, but recently, in the past few years, I think the university has been doing much better. They're trying to change the mindset of the researcher that, well, you have lots of innovation, research innovation. Even myself have the patent of the functional drink. But I mean, we wait too long. Like Shirley said, don't wait. don't wait. We've been busy with research, teaching, and keep waiting, not try to advertise our innovation, which is actually has been proved safety, efficacy, clinical trial, everything is ready to sell our product. And university actually also got an incubation center, the division of technology transfer. Things getting better, but I think we're acting too slow. For me, for myself as well. So hearing Shirley and Tina today, I think university has to work faster and harder in terms of bridging between the researcher, the students who build up the innovation to link with the industry more. And as Rose saying that the COVID-19 make us meet each other. So I actually think of lots of ideas that we can create an event to get everyone together more frequently and to give passion to the researcher and to the student at the university more to link between the academic and the business world. Thank you. So I hope that Shirley can be one of our speaker to inspire both the researcher and the student to learn more outside of the box, and also from Tina in the future, of course. Thanks.
All right. So Kun Tina and Kun Shirley, in Thailand, there are thousands of research is on the shelf, waiting for the commercial level to take it out and to develop together. So come to the last question for this session. I would not say it's the question. I would like to ask our four ladies here to give an inspiration word to the people in the industry, especially to the women, to become the leader in the future. I go to Kun Charampon first to give the short code to the audience.
Okay. So it's first you have to have a passion, your passion, and what you think is that you can do. Believe that you can do with passion, so you can do everything that you go. Yep.
All right, Shirley, please.
Okay. I would encourage women to look ahead in their lives, thinking about where their lives would be in the next 10 years and 20 years and what they need to do to get there. Secondly is I would also strongly encourage women to leverage our innate strengths of collaboration and also partnership to expand our influence. Thirdly, I think gender equality starts from each one of us. There is a very popular quote by Madeleine Albright. There is a special place in hell belongs to women who don't support each other. None of us will go there. So I think that's start from us in supporting and helping women leadership.
Thank you, Shirley. Dr. Krongkan?
Yes, I agree with Kun Charampon that beginning with passion, like myself, I'd like to encourage all the female researchers and the students to have a strong passion, of course, in science at the beginning, and then expand your passion to other fields out of the box. Try to get more networking, mentoring, and don't wait. I like Shirley say, don't wait. Then you can get to explore more in this world, not only in your laboratory or just in the animal center, so that you can bring more benefits to the world from your research and your innovation. Thank you.
All right, Kun Tina, please.
I think for women, very, very specifically, it's don't believe the stereotype. You are the master of your own destiny. So forge ahead, other women will support you.
Wow. So that's the inspiration from our panelists here. So the last part, I would say that any one of you would like to add anything for this session? Kun Tina, Kun Shirley, Dr. Krongkan, and Kun Charampon. So if not, I would like to close this session, and I would like to tell the audience, please looking forward to hear more from Kun Tina mentioned, we have a lot more women success in our industry. Dr. Kita is one of our prospect that we want to invite her, and Kun Shirley and team, and Dr. Krongkan also have many doctors in the researcher to share her experience. So I would like to thank you for all panelists here. Thank you very much for sharing your experience, and hope to see you all soon when you can travel to Bangkok. Thank you very much. ขอบคุณค่ะ สวัสดีค่ะ
Thank you, Rose and
Thank
FIA
you
for
very much.
this
Thank you.
fun topic. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.